Stadium, representing the Kentucky Wildcats, out against the Georgia Bulldogs.
Smacking off the puck.
Man,
we're all in.
Welcome back.
Let's pretend this is professional and start it from here.
I'm sorry, Doug. What'd you say?
I said, let's pretend this is a professional outfit and then start this shit again. Go ahead and say it again.
And welcome back to Smacking Off the Podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden. I'm joined with Doug Phillips, my co-host and producer. I'm joined with one Dr. Balls, Robert Arthur. What's up, homie?
What's up,
You're in
Big
the work
Daddy?
truck.
Yep, I'm in the big
I can tell the door. I used to drive a truck that had a door like that with the holes in it.
Yeah. So
And,
that's
we're
what it
also
is,
joined
man.
with Edward Scrivener, a
Can you all hear
new
me?
contributor to the show. Edward's actually he's like a professional. He's like a writer. What's he doing?
Ed, we cannot hear you.
Oh my God.
We can't hear anything you're saying. Say something.
Hello?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, we can. No,
says-
I can hear him actually. But
Okay,
his,
good. I can hear him too. I was just fucking
his mouth is not syncing up
Okay.
with the sound. He's on Windstream. You know, we love to shit on Windstream.
There's a lot of people that would like my mouth not to sync up with anything. So,
So, man, the first thing I got to ask you.
Totally understand.
First thing we got to ask you. Who's your team? Who's your college football team?
Michigan.
All right, and thank you, Edward. That was Edward, everybody. Let's go ahead and let's get him off our show now.
Hey, we may need you next week, Edward. How confident are you that Michigan's going to win?
55 to 60%.
That's good enough, isn't it, Shannon?
Yeah, but that's a failing grade.
I'm holding on to the fact
school.
that Alabama almost lost to Auburn.
Okay,
and Auburn's not that good.
That's a different game. That's a different game, though. That's a completely different game.
We got a young buck, Landon Beeman, who he's a Bama guy, and he's ready to take you on next Thursday.
Well, I wrote an article at the beginning of the season about the reasons that Michigan could win the whole thing, and one of the segments was about the collective between the ears, because after we got blown out by Georgia in the playoff 2 years ago, everybody's we were happy to be there that night, and then they went out and lost to TCU. So they got to get their mind right.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think Georgia would have fared better in that contest had they gotten TCU signs?
Wait a minute. Well, Georgia beat TCU 65-7. So
maybe so you're saying that Georgia did have the signs. Ooh.
Well, yeah, we lost to TCU. Our defense didn't show up, and then Georgia destroyed TCU. So
that's right. That happened. Y'all had TCU signs, didn't you? Or did no? I think we talked about that on the show, did we not, Doug?
Yeah.
No, here's actually what I heard was that TCU caught wind of what was happening, and they changed all their signs.
Interesting.
Now I don't know, Ed. Have you heard anything like that, or? I mean, there's not a lot. I mean, if I was you, I'd cling to this, because why the hell is Michigan going to lose to TCU?
Yeah,
there's got to be some reason other than. It's definitely not that TCU lined up and was a better football team. That can't be the case. That was
essentially the same team that Colorado destroyed in their opening game, right?
Well, no, the quarterback was different. But, keep in mind, Michigan gave up a whole lot of long plays every time they started coming back.
They didn't have those signs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, man. You know you're going to have to, like Penn State fans, poor Penn State fans after the Sandusky thing and the hatred and vitriol that they endured in the smack groups. I was part of it too. I heaped some on
I
too.
could
Fuck
take
Penn
it.
State. But I
I can
like
take
James
it.
Franklin. I've actually been an apologist lately. And I kind of like Chris Golly every once in a while when he comes on. But yeah, I mean that right there. You still have a lot of people that are arguing that Michigan shouldn't even be in this contest at all, regardless of how dominant they played throughout the whole entire season. Well, I don't know. They haven't played as dominant when it got exposed that they were stealing signs. They still kept winning
The
games,
schedule was not
like
that tough
FSU
throughout the
and
year.
that
But
third
look,
string quarterback.
I think you got to let the investigation play out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have something for this. Okay. Scouting.
What's that?
Scout. That's all it was scouting. That's it. That's all it was. It was just,
So, Ed, what do you think the
I hope
chances
this
are that they'll vacate wins for Michigan? What if you had to put a percentage on the possibility of Michigan having to vacate wins? What would you say?
because they were caught
I
red-handed.
think it's
You
hard to
can't
say
get
because
caught more red-handed than Michigan got
the
caught.
investigation is in its early stages, which means it's just hard to say. That is, I mean, it's certainly a possibility, but it might. If that happens, it might not happen for 3 years.
So
Like
that means
LSU.
y'all would, if y'all win it all, you'll be champions for at least 3 years, right?
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and my hangover will be gone.
Will
in
there
3
be an
years
asterisk right
afterwards.
out of the gate, or will they just wait those 3 years out? Because we already know how
See,
it's
you
going to
know the
wind up.
CFP. Here's the thing: the NCAA could make them forfeit games, but the CFP may say fuck that. And if Michigan ends up winning the national championship, they may say we're not fucking with it.
You know what's going to be
There will be
crazy?
people.
You know what's going to be crazy
Some
is that
people are going to
everybody
say there's an asterisk. It is what it is.
everybody's going to lose a game except for Liberty this year, and Liberty's actually going to declare themselves a national champion. There'll be somebody over in where's Liberty located? What state?
Florida State's going
Lynchburg,
to
Virginia.
Yeah. Well, Florida State and Liberty both will lay a claim to it. They all get the asterisk.
Well, wait a minute.
Do
you think Liberty's going to beat Oregon with Bo Nix playing?
I mean, I don't know. Have you ever watched Bo Nix play against the SEC? If Liberty studies
there
that
was a
tape pretty hard,
49-3 loss against Georgia in the 22 season. So
real quick, our pal and star contributor Alex Bryan, he's a Buckeye, has chimed in on the chat, and he has said
the Buckeye Bro Show.
Yeah, he has said fuck Michigan. He won't even say Michigan. He's saying Michigan. Cheaters lose by 3 scores. You know what? It took a lot to get Alex Bryan to be an Alabama fan, didn't it?
No, man. There is enough dick for everybody to ride when it comes to being an Alabama fan.
Shit, Ed, it looked like you fell, Ed. Your camera, the way your camera did, it was like, oh shit, Ed just fell out of his chair.
Goodness.
That didn't happen, did it?
It was the phone.
It was a camera trick, wasn't it?
Now, when they took
you said, watch this shit. I'm going to make them motherfuckers think I fell out of my chair.
I love it.
Well, they took Louisville's national championship.
I love it when people do stunts on this show, like that one time that Amy Welch vomited on air.
Yeah. That wasn't a stunt. That was for real, for real.
That was for real.
Damn it, Jim.
Yes.
And Justin Pike drank his own pee.
Well, I won't.
Not on the show.
That happened. Doug.
Okay, so I guess we need to talk about Harbaugh because this needs to be you and Shannon. I'm gonna just sit back and listen.
I mean, the first and only question that I have about Harbaugh is this his last season at Michigan as he's headed to the greener pastures of the NFL, which is screaming and calling his name?
So
I mean, is there really, win or lose, is there any reason for him to stay?
Well, that's one of the things I was going to say is, does Michigan's success in the Final Four or lack of success impact his decision? We don't know. We have heard that there's a 5-year, $55 million offer on the table from the school,
a lot of money,
and that it contains language they said that would prevent him from leaving, but you can't prevent him from leaving. So we'll say it would make it more difficult. And we don't know if Harbaugh himself said, fuck that, I'm not signing that, or is his agent working with the school on language. We don't know those things. We know that he's flirted with the NFL for at least 2 years in a row, but you don't hear much about we'll call them meetings that he has. Like, he flew to Minnesota, he met with them, and he didn't get the job, but you didn't hear about
dirty
it.
connotation, the way that you threw it out there, meetings.
Well,
That's what I'm here for. The meetings. Jetgate.
Interview then, fine. That's fine. So
we're just talking. That's what the kids say these days. We're just talking.
Right. I understand. We also know, and I love Harbaugh. Okay. I got a man crush on him. But we know he's difficult to deal with respect to people higher up than him. He had problems with Trent Baalke in San Francisco. He's had problems with Ward Manuel, the AD, and it looks like they might have smoothed things over a little.
And brother, as far as having problems with authority, he has a shit ton of problems with the NCAA right now, which is kind of what I'm getting at. You know, with the NCAA snipping up his ass the way that they are now with 2 infractions. You know, we're still also waiting on confirmation of the first, which isn't near as bad.
I think the first one is relative. What do they call it? Cheeseburger Gate. I don't think that's a big deal.
It's not.
You know,
but compounded with now this complete, like, you know, James Bond episode of sign stealing. I mean, this isn't just normal somebody sitting in the stands and just kind of looking over his shoulder for a game or two. This is a very extremely coordinated effort. So props to our United States military, because I think they had a lot to do with the at least the formation and planning of this with Mr. Connor there.
I mean, I have questions as a Michigan fan, for example. And look, I realize even if it turns out he didn't know, that it's his job to know, and there's no real way around that. My question, and I haven't heard anybody ask it, is, okay, this guy who was incognito at the games of other teams,
military trained, God bless you.
Where was he normally supposed to be during the Michigan games? Because if he was supposed to be at the Michigan game and he wasn't there, did anybody say,
why would he be at the Michigan game? He had a job to do. He was doing his job. That was a job that was assigned by somebody that was higher up the food chain. And
but
because
his official job was not to go spy.
Do it covertly for 3 years before he got found out.
True.
They're bad.
So, you know, and they agreed, Harbaugh and the school agreed to not appeal the 3-game suspension because apparently Partridge was not cooperating, and they, you know, it's all very tight-lipped. I do agree.
Of course it's tight-lipped. Man, come on, dude. You know how, regardless of whatever the particulars and whatever comes out in several years, man, you know how this looks. This is nasty. This is a dirty, dirty, nasty thing. And it's not really the fact that it was that egregious. I mean, you know, there's been a lot of coaches on record recently since this case came out that have all said, hey, yeah, I mean, if I get the opportunity to steal some signs or somehow get that edge, I'm going to take it. But, man, the level that Michigan went to is just, I mean, that's unprecedented, man. Or maybe it is, and we just haven't heard about it yet. I don't know. Michigan was just dumb enough to get caught.
Well, we don't know all the facts. You know, it's difficult for me as a diehard Michigan fan to be completely objective. And
I know I'm a Bama fan. I rooted for Mike Price, and I still do this.
Well, here's what's funny. So I wrote an article recently, The Keys to the Alabama-Michigan Game, right? And as a Michigan fan, I did everything I could do to be impartial in writing the article.
And now, so and also, where can we read this article? Because I definitely don't want to reference an article and you know not get some clicks, man.
He shared it in group. He shared it in Smacking Off.
Oh yeah, I read it. It was a good article.
LOSsports.com. So some guy.
LOSsports.com. Remember that, folks.
Yeah. So some guy in a Michigan football Facebook group posted, this article should be called "All the Reasons Alabama's going to Win." don't click on it and pay this douchebag.
I want to know who did that. Was it? And this is
his
an Alabama fan, right? An Alabama fan?
No, he's a Michigan fan.
Edward, was
He's
that
a
the first
Michigan
time
fan.
you'd ever been referred to as a douchebag, or?
Well, I'm 61, so no.
No, it's happened before, right? I've been called a douchebag. I mean,
different words. But the thing is, he's an osteopathic doctor.
Yeah, I got you.
But this guy's
we
an
can say those words on
osteopathic
here.
doctor
We're not
Detroit,
bound by the
so
FCC.
Big fuck.
Next time I go to Ann Arbor, I'm going to go visit his office and tell his receptionist to go get him so he can come out and call me a douchebag to my face.
Oh man, if you live stream that, I promise you, any revenue that we get off that, you get all of it. You get 100% of it. I just want to be there just to witness the.
As a matter of fact, Edward just made us a reel, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. That was a good line.
And we don't even need context.
No.
All we need is for him to say that.
I didn't threaten to hurt the guy or anything like that. I just said tell his receptionist you go get him so he can say that to my face.
But Edward, if you decided to beat this guy's ass and live stream it, I mean, I'm not encouraging you to do that, but I'm just saying if that happened and you were to go live doing it and we were to help it go viral, any proceeds that we can get, man, it's going straight to you. You're doing us a service. You're doing us a blessing.
I'm about 3 years from retirement, and if I get arrested, I'll lose my job.
Yeah, you don't want to.
But once I'm retired, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And
you can carry a cane with a gun in it. Yeah.
It would be a first offense, so the penalty would be light.
And you got to sound really old when the cops come. He said he was going to get my wallet.
Now, what's really special is if you're in a small town, right, and they only have one drunk tank, and then you fight old dude, and they pack you both to the drunk tank, then you could trap them in there and beat their ass some more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, it's Detroit, so.
All the fun you ever wanted.
That's not going to be an empty drunk tank. I promise you that.
No, there could be 60
there.
There's going to be people taking sides and people taking bets and shit. And I'm going to get his shoes if he dies. Yeah.
What about they take his mattress pad and lay on it, you know?
Yeah. Do you ever have to go to jail and not get a pad? And not get a pad? And we've all been to jail. I think everybody on this podcast. Edward, I don't know you, but you said you're 61. But trust me, that's an average occurrence in American life these days. Everybody's been to jail. Do you ever get to go to jail?
I've been arrested twice. I was in my 20s, and the time that I spent in what you would call jail was in the hours, not days. So
yeah, same here. The worst stint that I did was overnight in county. So that was good enough for me. I learned my lesson, sort of.
Yeah.
But did you ever go and not get a pad? Just, hey, we're out. We're overbooked. You got to sleep on the floor. No pad.
Well, no, I didn't spend the night, so didn't have to. Didn't get.
He just waited there to bond him. He bonded himself out, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, he looks pretty well put together. He's a man of means. He can do that sort of thing.
I just tell him to send me upstairs because I ain't got no money. So just send me upstairs, you know.
I want to go upstairs because I want some sleep. Because usually I have crazy women in my life, and it's good to be able to get like a 24-hour break. It really is, man. I'm going to tell you what. Doug knows which. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but Doug, remember the Chandler thing? That I had to get put in for like 16 hours or something like that, and it was the best sleep I've ever had in my adult life ever. Birmingham City Jail. That's where Dr. King stayed.
Wow.
Hallelujah.
All right, so Harbaugh, have we come to a conclusion on Harbaugh? Is he out? Is he in? Come on, Ed, tell us.
I think that
you're still waiting on info, aren't you?
No, I was trying to be objective. I believe it's more likely that he will leave.
Well,
because he hasn't signed the contract. They're offering to pay him $11 million a year, and he hadn't signed it.
And that's rather presumptuous by Michigan to think, I guess, that they're going to be able to beat this whole NCAA thing. Go ahead and stick on with us because, again, if the NCAA comes down and he's not allowed to be coached, then they can just take that money back.
Well, wait a minute.
So,
what do you think the harshest penalty, if you're talking about Harbaugh and not the school, what do you think the harshest penalty could be? Because you said not allowed to coach. They're not going to ban him from college football.
No, I don't see
No,
that.
they're definitely not going to do that. I mean, we've seen some pretty rough stuff. I mean, look at Auburn's Hugh Freeze, for example. I mean, and the situation that he went through down at Ole Miss, that was dirty. That was a dirty, nasty story, especially when you're talking
And
about.
then Liberty hires him. I mean, that's funny.
Well, and Liberty of all universities too. They're the what Southern Baptists, aren't they? Are they the Southern Baptist or they're very religious. Jerry Falwell, very religious organization.
I don't know their affiliation, but it's definitely a Christian school.
Yes,
so,
yes, decidedly so.
But
and he's got them balling right now too. He's left the program in absolute wonderful shape, and the fellow from Coastal Carolina's name escapes me, has just swooped right in and went 13-0. Yeah, Chadwell. Remember that name? He's going to be at the top of a lot of coaching search lists soon.
Yeah,
because he did a good job at Coastal Carolina too.
Well, guys, let's take a short break, and we'll be back here in a minute.
Let's do it.
Okay.
You are now watching or listening to Smacking Off the Podcast. If you love it, tell your friends about it. If you hate it, share it with your enemies.
Hi, we're Fiverr, a global marketplace connecting individuals and businesses with freelancers offering thousands of digital services. Graphic design, web development, video editing, e-commerce marketing. You name it, there's a professional freelancer ready to make it happen. Filter your search by the service needed, budget, timeline, and boom! Fiverr provides a list of talented freelancers to meet your specific needs. Always know what you'll pay up front. No hourly rates, just project-based pricing. And because payment isn't released until you approve the work, you can rest assured that you'll be satisfied with the quality and get exactly what you want. Our support team is always available to answer questions or offer assistance when you need it. With the whole world of freelance talent at your fingertips, what might you achieve? Join today and find out. Fiverr. It starts here.
VidGo, streaming made easy. In the fast lane of streaming, VidGo offers the best live TV experience, period. Quick sign-up, great features, and the widest selection of live sports, news and shows. All with no contracts and no hidden fees. It's never been easier to gain unparalleled access to virtually everything, wherever you are, for an unbelievably low price. Pay just $20 for the first month on any qualifying VidGo plan. Follow the Smacking Off VidGo affiliate link in the description for the best prices available.
We're back. Now we're
back.
What's up, guys? Did you enjoy those commercials?
I did.
Is that making us any money, Doug? Have you tabulated how much money this is making a shit?
But maybe if we get this system going correctly and teach people how to follow our links. I mean, people are going to buy some of this shit anyway. They might as well send the commission our way, right?
True that.
Yep.
I'm down with that line of thought. So, look, Ed, let's be real. You and me, all right? How's this?
Pretend like nobody else is here.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Doug, Dr. Balls, I'll cover you for a minute. Yeah. Well, you don't have to mute. I mean, you can stay unmuted. I just don't want you to listen. Ed, what's going to happen with this Michigan-Bama game?
Well, Michigan needs to keep Milroe in the pocket because if he runs around and they don't bring him down and the plays are extended, that's a problem because the Bama receivers will eventually get open. The Alabama running game does not scare me like it used to when they had Derrick Henry and Mark Ingram and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Well, strangely enough, they haven't needed it this year in a year that you thought that they were going to have to rely on it more.
You know, running on Bama is not going to be a piece of cake. McCarthy must have a big game. if it's anything resembling, now I realize they're not going to run the ball every single play in the second half against Bama like Penn State. But if it's like that, then Michigan's going to be in trouble. They need to score. Because as good as Alabama's defense is, Michigan's not going to hold them to like 10.
No,
So
I don't.
we
I
gotta
don't see that being the situation at all. Now I will say this
Michigan's
though.
got to bring it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Chase McClellan's out for this game. I believe he's out for the remainder of the season.
I'm not sure who that
is. Well,
is.
Doug's muted right now. He's not listening. So
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Chase McClellan, he's out for this game, correct?
I have to look into that.
I believe so. I believe he got injured in the championship. But again,
look, I'm not
back,
going to lie. I'm not overconfident. I'm somewhat confident, not overconfident.
Well, and again, one of the things that has really plagued, and I'll just from a Bama standpoint, I'll tell you how Bama could lose this game, and that's going to be with penalties. Alabama's had a really, really, really tough time with that. It seems like they've kind of leveled that off a good bit later in the season, but yeah, there have been some absolutely ridiculous games. Now, having said that, officiating in the SEC has just been officiating across college football this year in particular has been god awful bad.
Hallelujah.
So let me throw this out, and I do believe this is Bruce Martinez talking. It's only telling me Facebook user, but he says, "Why are we still the underdogs, my Huskies?" And that's a game we haven't talked about a lot, and I want to see what Ed's
well, I'm talking to a Michigan fan about.
He's got opinions on Washington and
he just
Texas.
wants to hear us talk about Washington. He's going to get his turn. Oh
no. We gonna talk about it right now. Ed's got an opinion on it. I guarantee it.
Ed, let's hear it.
Texas has been on a roll.
Yep.
And losing Jonathan Brooks for the season has not impacted them because they got two guys that are splitting carries, and they've done a good enough job. Washington has had some close calls. Now, I was surprised. I was convinced Oregon was going to beat them because they had beaten Oregon by 3 earlier this year, and then they won by 3 at Oregon last year.
And going into the game, the nation had pretty much picked Bo Nix as the better quarterback too, which we found out that was false.
Well, because Penix had a couple games where he didn't throw any TDs. One of them was just because Dylan Johnson kept running it in the end zone. But he had, I think, 3 picks against Arizona State, who's a terrible team, and they only won by 11. So that kind of blew Penix's Heisman shot.
Now, I thought he was great at engineering comebacks and being able to score whenever he had to. That was what Washington's whole season was about, is the fact that they was able to overcome adversity, and he was able to engineer drives that won games. And I feel he can do that again. And that whoever, if Texas lets them have the ball last at the end of the game with a chance to score, that's the only way Washington can win. I don't believe they're going to overwhelm Texas.
For a moment and admire the fact of Sark is what in his second season or third season? I can't remember it. Second season, right? The third. Somebody help me.
That's his second season.
Yeah, I mean, and here he is playing for a national championship. That's wild.
Oh yeah, and they got that Manning boy right there waiting in the wings.
Steve Sarkisian had this in him. At this point in the game, I mean,
hold on now. Who was Texas's coach before Sarkisian?
Let's see here.
Tom Herman.
Herman. Yeah, from Houston.
So it's pretty obvious that Tom Herman did a pretty good job of recruiting over there. There's no way that Texas would be this good at this point with just two recruiting classes for our guy for the new guy here. So Tom Herman had to play a part.
But at the same time, though, you still got to develop that talent.
True.
That's right.
And for him to actually, I mean, immediately come right in. Okay, good. We got something to work with here. And I don't know how active they were in the transfer portal between seasons 1 and 2 in his tenure there. But regardless of whatever, he had to work with or didn't have to work with, it's amazing the fact that he's got, Texas remaining in the national conversation again. Crazy.
Okay. So Michael, Michael is the Washington fan. It's a guy from group. I know. I can't remember how to pronounce his last name. Yeah, you're correct. Your Huskies shut up the whole Bo Nix talk, so it was valid just for that, right?
It for me, someone who personally doesn't really like Bo Nix a lot, because we all know how he got the job there at Auburn. But apparently he had some skill, and it had to get developed elsewhere.
All right. So Michael says that Washington's going to beat Texas' ass, win 2 more games, and they're going 15-0.
15-0. Washington, there's your national champion right there. Thanks, y'all.
And I like them, but first of all, against Texas, I think the biggest key is whether he's got time to throw. Because if he does, he throws darts, and he's got 3 NFL receivers. So that's tough for anybody to deal with.
Who do you think is going to have a better career in the NFL, Penix or Bo Nix?
Oh, Penix.
Yeah, I do too. He already looks NFL ready.
This is always interesting. It's always interesting because, like with Washington, they haven't played a lot of the teams that Texas has played. Alabama and Texas played each other. We all know about that. Michigan hasn't played the teams that Alabama and Texas has played. So we really have 3 islands going on here that we really don't know how to compare these teams, and we won't know until they meet on the field.
That makes it more interesting.
You could argue the Washington schedule was tougher than Michigan's because outside Penn State and Ohio State, it was nothing.
Well, we have another Michigan contributor, and he basically he's a writer too, and he wrote an article, and he had Washington as his top team on Selection Sunday because he said that Washington had played the tougher schedule. And he's a Michigan fan, so.
I don't disagree with that they did play a tougher schedule. The artist formerly known as the Pac-12 was loaded this year, loaded at least with good quarterbacks.
Now, USC was overrated. They kind of fell off and didn't meet expectations, but Oregon and Washington certainly looked good at the end. But overall, the Pac-12 was stronger than it had been. And it's sad to see them go out like that, wouldn't you say?
I think it kind of sucks.
Well, it's a done deal. It's the Pac-2 next year. The Pac-2 / Mountain West.
Yeah.
That's good. That'll be some mighty good games.
I like the idea, the creativity of it, how they set it up.
You got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, so each one of the teams left plays each week a different Mountain West team, and at the end, whoever wins out of that plays each other. I think it's pretty cool. The way they did it was creative.
Shannon?
Yes. I'm sorry, back. I had to step away for a moment. I'm back. Forgive me. The child was stirring. I have a 5-year-old Ed. She's a terror. She's got a drum set for Christmas this year.
Nice.
Her gay godparents that live out in San Francisco. Rory has 4 godparents: Doug and Kat, and Ron and Asher. And Ron and Asher got her a drum set. And I'm looking so forward to putting that.
You're definitely looking forward to that, aren't you?
You damn right. I'm not.
So, has there been any bowls? Any bowls of interest? I mean, anything we need to mention? Because there has some bowls have gone by, and we haven't really mentioned them yet. We typically had done bowl preview and stuff, but there's. I mean, let's just face it. Now with the playoffs, and you've got the first team out, which you've got the Orange Bowl with Florida State and FSU.
Speaking of Michigan and Alabama, Rich Rodriguez his Fighting Gamecocks of Jacksonville State won their bowl game.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the new thing.
Yeah, they beat
Climb
Louisiana.
back up.
They weren't
You'll
even a FBS team last year, I don't believe.
You'll see him vying for the South Carolina job any day now.
Damn it, Jim.
They firing
Beamer.
what the hell? Yeah, they fired Beamer.
Rome wasn't built in a day, and Rich Rod's climbed back to greatness. Because remember, he was at one point in time the head coach of Michigan, and almost was the head coach of Alabama, and chose Michigan over Alabama. Man, we dodged a bullet there.
His glory days was at West Virginia.
At West Virginia.
No two ways around about it. But he's coming back. The long road back, and it's going through Anniston, Alabama, which is where Jacksonville State is located near.
We've got a lot of FBS teams here.
Yeah, emphasis on the S.
Not that really cares.
I'm all over these bowl games because my college fantasy playoffs are going on. So
yeah, you're betting money on it.
What do you think about Kentucky and Clemson? Clemson versus Kentucky. What do you think about that game, Ed?
The Wildcats versus the Tigers.
He said Clemson wins.
Defense.
Bob?
Oh, I think that Kentucky has the ability to shut Clemson down based on what I've seen this year, and then it'll be a defensive struggle that's ugly.
You think it's going to be like one of those 13-9 games? I'm going to fall asleep about midway through. And have to look up the score later on.
24-23 or something like that.
Mm.
But Clemson has more talent than Kentucky overall, but I feel Kentucky's more talented at linebacker and on both sides of the line.
Who wants to win this bowl game more? I think that's the bigger question here. I mean, Dabo Swinney loses this bowl game, and there's going to be some chitter chatter going on. I'm not saying that they're going to fire Dabo Swinney
anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
A report came out the other day. One of his former players' father said that he was extremely abusive.
Damn.
Now I'm always suspect when I hear a story like that. I'm sorry. I immediately red flags go up, and it's not toward the coach. It's usually towards the player, particularly if it's a player that didn't receive a starting slot or something along those lines.
It was a guy that did not.
We're not going to get any money in the NFL, so we'll just get in a lawsuit, right?
Yep. So I'm guessing everybody has looked over the bowl schedule. Any games that stand out that have happened already or haven't happened already that will take your mind off the CFP for a minute? I mean,
I'm interested to see if Auburn wins. I don't know.
Auburn, Maryland. That's going to be Tua's brother.
I don't see a reason that Auburn should lose that one. To be quite frank, there's Hugh Freeze has got something going on there, and he's pretty much working with I wouldn't say nothing. He hit a lick in the transfer portal in the offseason.
I'm always interested in these kind of games, but I've got Oregon and Liberty circled.
The Cotton Bowl
I
looks
live in
interesting.
Maryland. Auburn's going to win.
Oregon Liberty sounds a lot like FSU Georgia, dude. I mean, look, I know I've talked mad shit about Liberty. I'm really tickled at the fact that they've been able to kind of keep chugging right along without Hugh Freeze and have a perfect season as a result. Maybe Hugh Freeze was their problem.
Hey, did Hugh Freeze bring the baptism from Liberty to Auburn?
Man, don't get me started on that shit again.
You know what I'm saying, though? Like Jerry Falwell, right? And he brings baptism to Auburn, and then he has juice.
Out of all the people that should be leading a baptism, Hugh Freeze is definitely not one of them because, first off, the water's getting stained. Seriously, you ever see like the old, like the Omen or something like that, The Shining.
Well,
that's even a better example. The scene in the hallway where the blood starts coming down the hallway. That's what should happen if Hugh Freeze steps in the water to baptize people for Jesus.
So did he get saved? Did he get saved while he was at Liberty?
Oh yeah. And his wife is like a big time church church people. She's church.
So do you
hot.
think he went up to the altar? You ever heard the song, Shannon? Just as I am, that they sing.
Yeah, man. I went to church that one time.
Oh yeah, so you know how it is in the South. They're singing that song, and you're trying to figure out whether or not you're going to go up there and get saved and go to the altar and all that. So I wonder if Hugh Freeze had a transformative moment of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it still doesn't matter. You know, I Saul to Paul, whatever. I'm sorry, dude. Hugh Freeze does not need to be leading baptism with college students, you know, and some of them may actually have slightly different religious leanings. You know, everybody's got different things these days. I'm not even going to get into that aspect of it because this is Alabama, and you know that sort of thing is you know, it's welcome.
He could have found religion for show.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, it definitely. Look, man, have you ever seen any of the church stuff that him and his wife, those church conferences they put on? It is straight out of Righteous Gemstones, dude. No shit.
Goodness.
So didn't Pearl baptize a few people too?
That's the funniest one out of all of them.
It is.
Yeah, he's Jewish.
I know he's
Knight.
Jewish.
Yeah.
You mean by blood or by religion?
No, he's Jewish.
Both?
Google it.
I mean, I know he is. I know
Pearl.
he's a Jew,
Yeah,
but is he a Jew
by?
I mean, some people are Jewish by their
Well, they have
heritage.
Jews for Jesus.
Messianic Jews. That's what you're talking about.
Is he a practicing Jew?
He wasn't practicing then, because I don't think they do that sort of thing.
No, they don't.
I think that sort of thing is kind of, I don't know, kind of.
The last Jew that did that was John the Baptist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I know. But
that's
still,
still,
you know.
and look, man, I went to bat for this dude. I've been championing Hugh Freeze to Auburn long before it was announced, long before it was even discussed. That's back when they hired Harsin. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? And I was right. Brian Harsin. Wonder what he's doing right now.
He's probably having a good time with Jews for Jesus.
Did he get buyout money?
Do I need to look up Harsin?
Everybody gets buyout money at Auburn.
Well, they tried not to give him any by accusing him of having an affair with his secretary. But
that was the most odd thing ever, man. That was really. I really wish I had Kenny on this podcast right now, just for 2 seconds. I think he's doing his own thing tonight.
Let's see, Harsin.
You're looking him up right now.
I am
looking him up on LinkedIn. Go to LinkedIn.
Does he have a job? He's not listed. If he has a job, it's not as a college football coach anywhere.
That's a shame.
I mean, he could be working at Publix. He could be the manager at Publix or something.
Damn it, Jim.
I don't think that would show up on.
They have an excellent benefit package, particularly if you get management there.
Not as much as Auburn does, though. But.
And I mean, you know, he is a manager. I mean, a college football coach at a big time program. That's somebody that has management skills.
You know what? I'm going to have to say that Harsin is the guy that took over for Gus at Arkansas State. I did not realize that. And then, of course, he went from there, I guess, to Boise.
Yeah, we know Arkansas State is Bujo right now.
Bujo.
Balling.
The more you know. I had no clue that Harsin took over for. I guess that's why they grabbed him.
Yeah. I lost Doug. Did y'all lose Doug?
Yeah, I lost Doug.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. He's on that wind stream.
Hell, it's awful.
I don't think we have wind stream in our area.
I don't know. I hope not.
Oh well.
Not for his sake.
I guess we're just going to keep going. I mean, you know, I don't see any reason why not.
Well, actually, they have a like a fiber pipeline outfit. They don't have the home residential service, but they've got a fiber pipeline outfit where where they're selling pipeline from one city to another. That's down there at Windstream Enterprise. I think I've worked in it since that's what I do is telecommunications.
Yeah, we need to get Doug on that Windstream Enterprise so we wouldn't lose him.
That's it. That's what it is. So they're actually delivering the pipeline to whatever company is giving him his residential service, and therefore it's not working right now. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
exactly. I think you just nailed it.
Doug, could you hear us the whole time?
No, I just went away. I just fell completely out.
Okay, well, I did that a little while ago. It's okay. Sometimes it's good to decompress.
I'm not even sure that it's. I mean, it could have been my internet. I can't blame everything.
That's what we were discussing. We remembered that we don't have Windstream in our area.
No, I
so
have great internet, but it has been known to have a hiccup or two.
Have you looked into Elon's Starlink?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's free. I don't think it's great.
No,
internet.
it's not. It's not free.
Oh, it's expensive. You have to buy the equipment too.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. It's free. It's free in third world countries. It's not free here.
It's free if you have $120 a month, and then you have to pay. You have to pay for the equipment up front. So you actually got it. The first month is like $800.
What's the speed? What's the speed?
It's not great.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's country internet. If you live way out in the middle of
Spectrum.
nowhere and there's just absolutely no option, yeah, Spectrum's. I hate to say this, but Spectrum is the best option in our area as far as speed goes, and I hate that. I hate dealing with them. I hate that they get my money. Fuck them. But here I am coming to you live on the internet. Thanks, Spectrum.
All right, let's take one more. Let's take one more break because I'm kind of tired. Then we'll be back.
We gotta pay. We gotta pay these people.
Support Smacking Off by commenting on, liking, and sharing our videos. Stay right where you are, more Smacking Off is headed your way.
VidGo, streaming made easy. In the fast lane of streaming, VidGo offers the best live TV experience, period. Quick sign up, great features, and the widest selection of live sports, news, and shows. All with no contracts and no hidden fees. It's never been easier to gain unparalleled access to virtually everything, wherever you are, for an unbelievably low price. Pay just $20 for the first month on any qualifying VidGo plan. Follow the Smacking Off VidGo affiliate link in the description for the best prices available.
VidGo, you owe us extra. That's 2 commercials for you tonight. We're getting paid double tonight.
Commercials. What's our quota?
For one show.
Do you have the paperwork in front of you? You're always supposed to have the paperwork in front of you. I think that's part of our
2 joints minimum.
No, that's something else. That's that's when we finally get hooked up with Mike Tyson and his deal. Have you ever had those ears? The ear bites?
No.
I'm not making this up. This is a real thing. You can get it's got the weed in it. It's got the what is it? The Delta 9.
Oh.
And it's shaped like a little ear, like a Evander Holyfield deal. I wonder if Evander Holyfield gets a cut of that. Is he still around, isn't he?
Is he using that for the marketing of it?
No, I don't think he's using Evander Holyfield. He's just using an ear. But we all know whose ear that is, or whose ear that's supposed to represent.
I mean, if Michael,
if I was a lawyer, I would be all over this if Evander's not getting some money.
If Mike Tyson mentions an ear, yeah, that's the first ear everybody's going to think of.
You haven't seen him at the gas station?
Seen who at the gas station?
Mike Tyson's ear bites.
No.
You don't get gas?
You need Mike Tyson and Willie on. Willie and Mike.
Like most Americans, I just pay for it out at the pump and never walk into the fucking store.
No, don't pay for it at the pump. Then they put that hold on your card.
Yeah.
Man, you got to think smarter than that. You got to get one step ahead.
You better hurry up and get one step ahead because there probably won't even be cash by this time next year.
Maybe. Everybody keeps saying that, and I keep walking around with these fat stacks, like the rappers say. The bands. I got bands. Yeah.
All right, guys. Any other ball games to mention?
What about the Cotton Bowl?
And who's in the Cotton Bowl? Is that let me remember?
Missouri, Ohio State.
Oh, Missouri and Ohio State. That's it. So
that is an intriguing game.
Yes, I do.
Actually, that game screams watch me. Not because I'm an SEC homer, because really, I don't know. It's still weird to consider Missouri part of the SEC, and now we got Oklahoma and Texas coming in. It's going to get weird. It's going to get strange.
With A&M, so you're putting part of the Big 8 back together.
Texas and Texas A&M are going to play each other again. That's going to be interesting.
That'll be interesting.
That's a completely that would actually have been an interesting game a few years ago.
I think Missouri and Ohio State will be interesting for about a half. I think Ohio State probably wins by 10.
I don't know.
know, man. Drink's
I
got
think
something
Cody
special
Schrader
going
runs
on
wild.
in Missouri. I really did. I
Hold on,
really
now you're a
honestly-
Michigan guy, so you're probably not going to find. Yeah, you're saying Michigan. You're saying Missouri's going to win this game.
I do. I believe so.
Do you believe so, or are you hoping so? Because you are a Michigan guy. We have to.
I believe so because Marvin Harrison Jr.'s not playing. McCord, who, I mean, you're right. I'm not an Ohio State fan, but he's not nearly as bad as people made him out to be. And Missouri's going to be motivated because they haven't been in a New Year's Six in forever, and nobody, including Georgia, stopped Cody Schrader.
Well, you got me wanting to watch this game now.
Dude, this screams upset. I'd really love to see the line on this. I think it would actually be closer than some people would suspect.
Missouri's favored by 1.5.
Wow,
Damn.
that's big.
Which, when you see it on a website, it looks weird.
That's
Like,
essentially a pick 'em, you know.
Damn, we'd have to ask
That's right.
Pike about this one.
Yeah.
So how about the Peach Bowl? And that's an interesting game too. Penn State and Ole Miss.
I don't know. I think Penn State is one of the more boring teams to watch year in, year out. They're just.
Well, that was a pretty easy
I-
assessment. They really are boring.
So I'll be, if Jackson Dart has a big game, they're going to win it.
And I really believe that Ole Miss has, I don't know, they seem to have kind of gained a little extra step in their stride down toward the end of the season. That should transfer pretty well into this bowl. Lane needs to show something good. He's got him a new fat contract, and still has, Ole Miss has done remarkably well under his tenure. Everybody can talk all the shit they want to about Lane Kiffin year in and year out, but he's producing results in a place that nobody else really seemed to be able to do, except for that one guy that they ran off that is in Auburn now, that has found Jesus and is now spreading all in the water to all the people. Amen. That's balls right there. That's the balls that Auburn needs at coach. The balls and disregard and cannot read the room whatsoever. Gus Malzahn had a really, really good knack for that, of not being able to read the room. And when he did, boy, man, it just really showed on his face.
He had a knack for not doing something.
Excuse me?
That's kind of cool. I like that. That's
For
like
not
a reverse
reading
knack.
the room.
For not being able to read the room, yeah.
So that's a reverse knack, right?
Yeah. Tommy Tuberville is actually good at that too. He's getting better, as you can see in the headline.
You mean good at not reading the room?
Yes.
Okay. Let's not forget about Georgia Tech and UCF. That's a big one. We would talk about
Georgia
it.
Tech showed pretty good against Georgia. I don't know. It could be something.
That's one that I've actually got Georgia Tech in this one. I just got a feeling that Georgia Tech's going to show up.
You're choosing violence. That's all you're doing.
No, I just think that they look pretty good against Georgia. I think that this team is really improved. And go ahead.
Isn't John Reese Plumlee out?
Oh, are you telling me something that's going to affect my pick?
Insider hashtag inside sources.
No, I believe that UCF's quarterback is out.
Oh, yeah.
So
it
that's
does
a
affect
Georgia
my
Tech
pick.
win. That's backing you up, homie.
It is.
Yeah.
And Tech was a Jekyll and Hyde team this year, but they got a pretty good coach. Their quarter. I mean, it's kind of unusual to watch them on TV and seeing them throw the ball after like 20 years of the wishbone.
Yeah.
But they're not bad.
Hell yeah. If they could win that recruiting base, they could develop quick.
And this goes out to Sky Anastasian. His Utah Utes are playing the Northwestern Wildcats in the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. That's a big one.
Yeah. Luckily, the Utah fans should travel pretty heavy for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how far is that? Not very far.
No,
They're like a border state.
just next state over.
Yep.
Yeah, but when you're out west and it's a 10-hour drive, it's no big deal.
A lot of those Mormons probably don't want to go to Las Vegas, though.
Or they
mean,
do.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Now, Las Vegas is a lot more family friendly.
Yeah.
I think now they've swept the prostitutes back over into the brothels and the seedier parts of town. The trailer
family
park.
friendly
Don't,
and
don't they have
Mormon.
a trailer park in Las Vegas? Every town's got a trailer park.
Family friendly and Mormon friendly are probably. There's probably a little bit of the vibe.
Well, yeah, because they you can't do the gambling in any place that serves alcohol. They're not even allowed to darken the doorstep.
Now here's one that we actually have forgotten to mention, and it really is an intriguing marquee anyway. Louisville and USC. And Louisville is favored in this game.
Wow.
Dr. Balls, I'm going to pass this one over to you because I know you have an opinion about Louisville.
I think Louisville's steadier than USC is, but USC is more explosive than almost any team that Louisville's faced this year. And I'm not really confident much in Louisville's defense, except for the fact that USC is not going to try to run the ball. And Louisville's got a couple of decent corners. If USC tries to blow Louisville out and pass on them on every down, they'll lose to Louisville. Now, Louisville proved they couldn't stop the run when they played Kentucky. Basically, Kentucky physically dominated them on both sides of the line. And even though the game was relatively close, it was just bad offensive play on Kentucky's part that we didn't blow them out. And so I think if USC tries to play the Pac-12 game against Louisville, that Louisville wins that game.
Now, of course, this is Lincoln Riley coaching at USC.
Well, yeah, because Louisville's got a quarterback, right? So if they got no defense at USC. So if it goes into a shootout, I think Louisville will win it.
This one is in San Diego in the Holiday Bowl, by the way. Go ahead, Ed.
That's a nice place.
Jordan from Louisville is not playing. I think USC's going to have something to prove because they
have to win this game. Lincoln Riley really needs this bowl win because if they lose to Louisville, already their patience is growing a little thin because they figured, and I kind of figured too, that Lincoln Riley would be a home run hire and he'd have them kind of in the place that Steve Sarkisian has Texas right now.
And even with all their opt-outs, it's not like USC's got a bunch of bums on the bench at the skill positions. I mean, when they hit the field, you're like, oh, okay, these guys.
It's kind of curious that they're playing this bowl game instead of something a little bit more upper class.
They're 7-5.
Yeah.
We have another interesting matchup.
Wait a minute. Wait. I got one for that.
All right, we have a Big 12 throwback game here. Is Texas A&M and Oklahoma State in the Texas Bowl.
Without one Jimbo Fisher at the.
It's not the Fighting Jimbos anymore, is it?
No, he's still getting paid though.
Yeah.
Damn it, Jim.
Possibly without Ollie Gordon.
Possibly without Jimbo Fisher.
I don't really give a fuck about this game, so I'm just going to move on. Let's see here.
Jimbo's not in it. The only reason I would even care about this was that Jimbo Fisher was the head coach, and I wanted to see him lose. So I would be dick riding Oklahoma State all the way till the very end.
Exactly.
And I may still do that. I don't know. I mean, fuck the SEC.
We also have Big East throwback game. We have a Big East throwback game here as Rutgers and Miami in the Pinstripe Bowl. I guess that's at Yankee Stadium. Yes.
Rutgers got to a bowl though. That's interesting. Shiano, think about Tennessee. Think about what could have been.
Yep. Go ahead.
About that game, I believe it's a day game. I'll be working, and that's good.
BRB.
You're glad you're working. Okay, we got NC.
I can't see it being exciting.
Oh, we got the Pop-Tarts Bowl. I didn't even know we had a Pop-Tart Bowl. Did y'all?
No, man. That's something you put in a toaster.
Yeah, that should be the pop. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you don't put that in a bowl.
Right.
Unless you dip it in your cereal.
If it was on the field.
Let's see. NC State and Kansas State. I mean,
How do you pick that one?
I really don't know much about either team, to be honest.
I'm gonna go with Kansas State just because Kansas
Yeah, they're
State.
tough.
Yeah,
All right, I'm going with the Wolfpack. I like that. I like that name.
yeah.
The Alamo Bowl. The Fighting Tim Baileys of Oklahoma is taking on the Arizona Wildcats.
Oh, I got Oklahoma in that one.
Arizona has looked pretty good this year at
They
times.
can score.
It's an interesting game.
Hell
I wouldn't
yeah.
dismiss Arizona right out of the gate.
I wouldn't. And it depends if Gabriel plays. He's transferring, but he still might play, which is kind of weird.
All right, we already talked about Clemson and Kentucky, Oregon State, and Notre Dame. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Notre Dame has lost some big games.
Everybody.
They've lost at least at one big bowl game to Oregon State back maybe 20 years ago. So they owe them one.
Hell yeah.
And that's the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
The Sun Bowl. Well, I'd like to see Notre Dame win. Could make our contributors, Sean Devine, very happy.
All right, let's move up to a slightly higher tier. We've got Wisconsin and LSU. I really don't give a shit about this game, but I'm sure somebody does.
LSU, even without Daniels.
All right, here's a mighty. This is going to be a lot of scoring in this game. Iowa and Tennessee.
Who do you root for in that?
I mean, I'm rooting for Iowa just
on pure
really
principle.
Just so I can go and tell Mac Brooks congratulations on the big win.
Well, that's right. Since we hate Tennessee, that's an obvious pick, right? Now I'm in the land of Mac Brooks right now. I just come out of Iowa. I'm on the Illinois border. And we're going to give a big shout out to the Mac truck.
Yep.
So Iowa.
Yeah, if they turn Tennessee over, they'll win it.
Well,
hell yeah.
I'd hate to see Tennessee win, just because of obvious reasons.
Because we
I'm
still
an
like
Alabama
this.
fan and hate their fucking guts. But anyway, Ed, you want to go up?
Yes,
you want to go opposite an Alabama guy next Thursday?
Next Thursday?
Yes.
So that's the 28th.
Yes.
You bet.
Let's do it, and shit, we'll call that a shot. We'll call that a wrap, right?
9 o'clock.
Yep. Same bat channel, same bat time, right?
There you
go. Different day of the week.
Yep.
You bet. That sounds great.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for supporting Smacking Off the podcast on the X's and O's network. Be sure to keep up with our scheduled live casts and other presentations on Facebook at Smackologists or at Smacking Off, and on our YouTube channel at Smacking Off the Podcast.